Hello. Today I'm going to talk about my favourite topic in this moment is the law. And in this vlog we're going to go a little bit further into why the law won't be able to resolve your problems, your issues. Now those that have met me, understand me, they will understand that I have particular interest in the law. They will also understand that I like to see it from more of a multidimensional perspective and an integrated capacity. I'm not going to go into that further, but the next thing I want to talk about is when I refer to the term law, what do I actually mean? Now, I prefer to call this type of law a human-created law. And I'm not talking about universal law, I'm not talking about natural law, I'm not talking about LORE law, although some of LORE law can be considered as human-created law. Now, human-created law, for me, probably the best way for me to describe it is it's very human-centered. Even if it's about like animals and environment and all of these, supposed externalities that are supposedly not human, there still is usually a human ego-centered focus. And, the resolutionary path is often also very human egoically centered. And the reason I don't see that human created law as a way to necessarily resolve or find the best resolution, should I say, in a supposed problem or an issue is because it's all based in fear. I am yet to find a law in any kind of nation that's not based in fear. I'm sure there probably could be a few out there, but majority of them, whether it's a legislation or a law gets made in court, it's usually based in the emotion of fear. Emotions, energy and motion, that's probably the most basic way I can put that. And many would agree, the emotion of fear is quite constricting. And then one would question, well, if that emotion is quite constricting, how can one find an expansive or a best resolution to a problem or an issue if it's based in fear and the path, supposed path, right, of how to get through this is all based in fear. I understand fear has a very important part to play in certain situations in one's life. If you're being chased by a bear, I'm very sure that fear has some important part to play in that situation for you. But if you are watching this vlog right now, highly unlikely you're being chased by a bear. And I guess the point of me sharing that is that usually most people don't have a need to be sitting in the emotion of fear 24/7. It has an importance, but it does not need to be sat in 24/7 within one's life. You'll probably find that if one was to, they would probably have a rather short lifespan. It's very detrimental to one's health on many different levels, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, etc., if you're in that space. And I'm not saying that fear is, it's a really terrible thing, hence why I said I do understand it does have an important part to play in the human experience. So, therefore, looking at human-created law to provide you with a resolution to your problem and your solution will often make, well, not often make you, but you will often feel rather dissatisfied with the outcome. I haven't heard of, many people, there still are some, but most people would say that if they've had an interaction with the law where they've actually needed to engage a legal representation or they've had to go to court, there's times when you engage in legal representation and it's not necessarily a very litigious situation arising. It could be a very mutually exclusive mutually inclusive kind of, a contract. Someone wants to buy something, someone wants to sell something, someone wants to start a business together, and all of that. And even that, again, it is often based in the core of that is fear. But just to provide you with an example of how most people come out of a court situation, obviously there's a litigation kind of situation going on there. Not many people come out of that sort of situation feeling satisfied, and it does not really matter whether supposedly the court sided with one sort of side or more than another, or vice versa. It often both parties will still feel rather dissatisfied with not necessarily even just the outcome, but the whole process of it as well. I'm not perpetuating you go out and break the laws, but I also understand there's been many, many times in the human experience where we have even used the laws that were, they were written down, at the time, to be something that you could do. And then if we were to try and apply it in this context, maybe in this moment, many of you would say, oh, that was rather terrible. I can't believe we had a law that allowed us to kill X, Y, Z, and we can do this to this group of people, or do that to the land, and and go on and on, right? And that's just to kind of get you remembering that the law is not always the best moral, ethical, best resolutionary guidance, should I say. So, and where I'm getting with this is that if you are placing all of your trust in that the law will provide you with a resolution that your ego is satisfied with, you're going to be likely disappointed. Resolving issues and problems will always be and has always been an inside job. And I don't mean an inside job as in like someone's working inside an organization and they're like going to take them down. And I'm talking about inside job inside your vessel. It'll always be an internal experience. It'll always be about how are you going to transform how you feel about a situation. Now, I know for sure this current legal system in which we reside in, these current human-created laws, they still have a part to play in that they can still remind you in that moment of what can you learn about the situation. How can you grow from this situation? What is this situation trying to show me? It still has that capacity. And if you're able to get yourself into that capacity, into that understanding of, okay, I might not get these supposed resolutions because this is a process which is very fear-based. Can I still use this as an opportunity to be able to see what can I learn? What can I grow? What have I done to somehow perpetuate this situation to come to fruition as well? So I trust that you understanding what I'm saying here. And, the system of the law is going to change, and the basis of the laws are going to change. When that moves out of the space and the emotion of fear, I cannot give you a time. If anyone knows anything about time and timelines, is that it's not necessarily what we're taught and led to believe in something like a mainstream school. But it is going to happen. And it starts happening by us looking inside ourselves. And obviously also those that are able to engage in these legal processes also starting to see starting to understand, and some already do, and some already have for the last 20, 40 years of moving out of that space. And, there's a few of them sitting in the closet, just kind of like quietly. It's a space in which one society may not necessarily be ready for yet. And I guess that's all I can really say on that. And the crux of it is just to remember human created law, often based in fear. Often you're not going to get the resolution that your sort of ego wants. And you just also can use it as a tool to come back to yourself and go, okay, well, what can I learn from this situation? How can I learn? How can I grow? How can I minimize this sort of cycle coming back again into my life? What can I do to then help my community and my family and my friends from this situation as well? And that's that in a nutshell. If you have any comments or questions, you're welcome to leave them, obviously, down below in the comment section. And if you want to find me in other social media platforms, there's a couple of them that I'm involved on as well. They are in the description box below if you are watching this from the YouTube platform. And I will see you soon.